What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Give you a quick overview of the current data points, what really drove it higher, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close 1.12% in the green. So nice change of events from yesterday's crazy sell-off. Although I guess first thing this morning, it did have that continuation of a sell-off. So it had a low of $6.97. First and foremost, give yourself a shout out if you were able to buy below $7. But luckily enough, Jefferson did have a speech about monetary policy. So ultimately, that's what gave this a nice bump up here. And then Powell right here. So all about Fed speakers today. And so Powell, I don't know, the market clearly just wanted some validation in some fashion and clearly was anticipating maybe a massive war to kind of break out today. But Powell, he kind of said that he's not really confident with the data that's coming out and that most likely the rates might stay at higher for longer. Despite the somewhat negative news, you still see kind of it regaining and keeping its value. So I think right now that's already been priced in. Especially Collins did say that last week, that exact same thing. So the fact that Powell is now reiterating that kind of spooked the broader market somewhat right here, but like I said, it kind of got bought up. So I think right now people are looking for value plays, and SoFi, in my opinion, is one of those value plays. Today there was no SEC filings. There was some news that did come out about Rapid Finance and Galileo kind of joining forces essentially. So I think this is a fairly good thing, although keep in mind this did come out first thing and it still really caused this to go down. So I think right now the market, it's not really factoring in or looking for kind of fluff news like this, which not to discredit this news by any means, but I think right now the thing that's really going to drive SoFi higher is macro events. So that's just my own opinion, of course, not a financial advisor. Going over some additional data points, starting off with shorts. So shorts did increase 541,000 shares today. 17.21% of the free float is being shorted. And then that works out to be 170.87 million shares overall are being shorted. And then cost of borrow average is 1.26%. So I think in reality, especially based on what Powell did say, kind of makes sense the fact that they were going to increase, but again, the market just clearly wants to go higher. And you can kind of see at the time of Powell speaking, shorts were returning about 591,000. Then as soon as Powell spoke, boom, just crazy high. So kind of interesting. I don't know what's going to really develop in the next couple days, especially based on the whole Iran scenario. Like it looks like there's going to be some retaliation coming sooner rather than later. That's what's been at least floating around. So that might cause some impact or some volatility to the broader market. But beside the point though, clearly today SoFi did relatively good. Looking at options, a little bit reduced dollar value in comparison to the last several trading days, but $3.75 million in calls, 1.8 million in puts. Sentiment wise, 49% of all the options being done today were optimistic. And then as I always say, no doubtably, I'm sure a lot of that was just shorts hedging their bets. And surprisingly, I kind of overlooked it, but just to give you a good overview, 34.06 million shares were traded today, 53.1 is the average. You did see a lot of transactions on the dark pool. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market. So right around the time Powell was speaking, you saw a lot of buying. So that's kind of what caused this right here. So just institutions buying based off of good old Powell. But regardless, I think this is a pretty good thing. And then these are some of the transactions that did occur on the dark pool today. So a lot of transactions and a lot of big ones, in fact. So 1.03 million, 3.9, and whatever else. So quite a lot of transactions. And as I always say, dark pool often enough linked to shorts and just large institutions and whatever else. And so right now, with it closing at $7.20, up slightly after hours, but $7.20, it is trading between this S2 and this S1. So it kind of bounced off of this S1, so it didn't really have enough to kind of stay between this range right here, but no doubtably it did consolidate slightly, and then it probably will try first thing tomorrow at this S1. So definitely watch for that to be the key pivot for SoFi tomorrow. If it does fail to break above that, then anticipate more of a retest of this area between that probably $7 range, but still we'll just have to wait and see what does come. I've been playing around with this website, kind of find this very interesting. So I've never really used AI essentially on what is a buy or what isn't, but interestingly enough, I did run this. I posted this already on Twitter, but I'm running SoFi. So AI is saying that SoFi is a good long position at these prices. Goes over some explanation on why it is a good long position. So you guys can always pause it and read through it, or just take a look at my Twitter, both the same thing. But ultimately as well, it does go over some potential risks. So yeah, if you're looking for the bull/bear case in SoFi or on SoFi for right now, definitely take a look, but it does see it as a long position. So I started to think, and this is why I wanted to play around with this. I'm going to be testing it out in the next couple of days, but obviously, like I've brought up in the past, 2024, you've seen an increase in algorithmic trading, so AI, and obviously, I'm sure the same basis on where this is getting the buys and sells, maybe the bank's algorithms are kind of in line with this. So I'm going to test it out just to see essentially what does AI constantly says on a daily basis. So stay tuned for that as well. Maybe I'll post it constantly on Twitter or X, whatever the hell it's called again, so then you guys can stay updated. But I've been playing around with this, seems pretty cool. So yeah, I'll let you know about that. On the actual chart itself, it is lower percentile of the boiling band. You do see a very bearish deviation, so red line above the white, but it is considered oversold at around 28. So if there is a good piece of news coming out about SoFi, then definitely you'll see a nice bump up in the stock price. No analyst ratings, nothing along those lines that came out today. So it was just simply those two Fed speakers that somewhat saved the broader market, and clearly the fact that a world war hasn't really started, I think that's what's maybe reassuring the broader market right now. So we'll just have to wait and see what does come and develops from everything in the next couple of days. Number of retail investors were getting in today, so you can kind of see that right here on the momentum indicator. So if you are one of those individuals that did buy, then definitely flex it in the comments below. But with all that said, I always appreciate all of you guys watching. Let me know your thoughts on SoFi as well. What is your thoughts on shorts increasing today, and especially associated to Powell? So are you thinking that maybe Powell is signaling more of a bearish tone, or like what's your viewpoint overall just on the broader market? So with all that, appreciate all of you watching.